Welcome to today's Discourse on the Divine Mother. Today I'm going to be reading from the Chandi by Swami Satyananda Saraswati. And on this YouTube video is all the information for how to reach him and procure this book and other teachings by him. So if you remember yesterday, we were talking about the Divine Mother was in the Himalayas, and two of the chief demons and warriors of the great thought of self-conceit saw this beautiful, beautiful Divine Mother. And when two of those warriors named Chandi and Munda, passion and anger, went back, they said to self-conceit, "Oh, Master, we have seen the most beautiful jewel of all the women in the whole universe. You have all the beautiful jewels from all the gods in the heavens. You must have her also." And so Sumba, self-conceit, sent his ambassador, one who appears to be your friend, to the Divine Mother to tell her all about how wonderful self-conceit was and that he wanted her to be his wife. She responded, "Oh, when I was very young, I made this vow that I would only marry one who can defeat me in battle." And what that really meant was that one who would come and become one with me through meditation and through spiritual practice. And at that time, being one with me, you would be actually married to the Divine Mother. And so she refused to come and said, "He must come here and defeat me and become one with me." So he who appears as to be a friend went back to self-conceit and told him the news. And self-conceit was furious. And he called one of his other demon thoughts, the great warrior called Sinful Eyes, and sent him with battalions of other thoughts to defeat the goddess and to bring her back to him. And here's where we'll begin. Receiving the command from self-conceit, Sinful Eyes, along with an army of 60,000 other thoughts, immediately proceeded to the Himalayas and defiantly shouted, "Enemy, go to self-conceit and self-deprecation. If you won't go lovingly to the side of my master right now, then I will grab you by the hair and forcibly drag you there. You have been sent by the King of Thoughts, and you yourself are extremely mighty," the Divine Mother said. "Along with you is a great army. In this condition, if you take me by force, then what can I do?" After the goddess answered thus, that thought, Sinful Eyes, attacked, and with the pronunciation of the mantra, the Mother of the Universe reduced that demon, that thought, to ashes. Then in great anger, that immense army of other thoughts and the Mother of the Universe began to exchange a rain of arrows, energies, and battle axes. In all of this, the carrier of the goddess, the lion, shaking his mane in excessive rage, with a frightful roar, jumped into the army of thoughts. Some thoughts died from the striking of his paws, others from his jaws, still other great thoughts were trampled by his hind legs and died from their wounds. Striking with his claws, he struck so many in the stomach, and by the sword so many heads he severed. Shaking his mane, the lion cut so many arms and heads. And blood flowed excessively. With anger, the carrier of the gods, that extremely forceful lion, in but a moment annihilated the entire army of thoughts. When the king of thought heard that the goddess killed sinful eyes and that her lion eradicated the entire army, he became very angry. His lower lip trembled with rage. Then he gave a command to passion and anger, Munda and Chamunda. Hey passion, hey anger, take a great army and grab that goddess by the hair and binding her, quickly bring her to me. And if there's any doubt in bringing her, then fight with all your weapons and with the entire army of thoughts and wound her. And after wounding that naughty one and her lion, bind her, that mother of the universe, and return her to me quickly. Here's meditation. I meditate upon the goddess Mantangi, the embodiment of the mother, sitting upon a throne of jewels. She is listening to the sweet sound of parrots. The color of her body is dark. She has one foot resting upon a lotus, and she wears a half moon upon her head. Wearing a garland of flower buds, she plays the strings of a veena. She covers her body with a blouse and a red-colored sari. In her hand is a cup made of a conch shell. From her face comes a slight, sweet scent that causes intoxication, and a brilliant spot of vermilion shines on her forehead. In adherence to the command of self-conceit, passion and anger set forth with 4 divisions of their armies of thoughts, well adorned with weapons and armors. On a high peak in the golden mountains, they saw the goddess sitting on her lion, smiling with delight. Seeing her, the thought made ready to capture her. Some took up their bows, some raised their swords, some collected around the goddess to begin the fight. Then the mother of the universe became very angry with those attackers, and her face turned dark with rage. The eyebrows were scowling, and from her frowning forehead appeared the remover of darkness from a terribly frightening face, who was holding a sword and a net in her hands. She wore a leopard skin garment and a garland of human skulls. Her flesh had withered, and she appeared as a skeleton of bones and very fierce. She displayed fantastic missiles of consciousness. Her mouth was immense, and she brandished her tongue as a sword that caused great fear. Her eyes were penetrating and somewhat red, and her fearful roar was humming in all directions. The remover of darkness, Mother Kali, killed many great thoughts, and after destroying an army of thoughts in great haste, she began to eat them all. She picked up elephants with one hand and put them into her mouth, together with their protectors, the driver with their goad, soldier, and bells. In the same way, she took warriors, horses, chariots, with their charioteers and the entire cavalry of thoughts. She put them into her mouth and hideously began to chew. She picked up the great weapons of that army in her mouth, and in a fearful anger she ground them with her teeth. She trampled the entire army of mighty and wicked thoughts and ate them all, and others she fiercely beat. In this way, the entire mighty army of thoughts was killed in a moment. Seeing this, Munda and Chamunda, passion attacked that excessively fearful remover of darkness. Also that great thought, anger, rained his extremely terrible arrows and hurled 1,000 discuses against that fearful-eyed goddess. Those discuses entering into her mouth shone as a halo of light of the sun absorbed in many clouds. Then with a fearful roar, the remover of darkness laughed furiously, her teeth radiantly gleaming in her fierce mouth. Then the goddess mounted upon the lion, seized passion by the hair, and with a broadsword she cut off his head. Seeing the death of passion, anger attacked the goddess. Then in terrible anger, stabbing him with her sword, she laid him to rest on the ground. The remaining army, seeing the death of the terribly valiant demons, passion and anger, were overcome with fear and ran away. Thereafter the remover of darkness took the heads of passion and anger in her hands and brought them to she who tears apart thought, Mother Chandi, and spoke to her with a great laugh. I present to you two great beasts, the demons, the thoughts, passion and anger. Now in the war of sacrifice, you yourself will kill self-conceit and self-deprecation. Seeing the heads of the two great thoughts, passion and anger, brought there, the goddess of welfare, she who tears apart thought, Mother Chandi, in a sweet word said to the remover of darkness, Mother Kali, since you have brought me the heads of passion and anger, henceforth you will be known in all the worlds as the slayer of passion and anger, Chamunda. Om Aim Hing Kling Chamundai Diche.